it's Lexee Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I kind of got, well, this is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, mukbang slash ASMR eating. I kind of want to just share some stories since it is a pretty turbulent time out there right now, and being a black female, especially hailing from a mostly white neighborhood with multi-ethnic family. Like just sharing my story over a nice bowl of fruit. I went to the market today and you'll never guess what I found. Super excited to share with you guys my favorite fruit that I found at the market. So this is it. This, my friends, is lychee fruit. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. I wanted to also make this video because I'm sure my friends back home in Minnesota may not be familiar with the lychee, unless, like, you know, unless they do know, then yeah, because I'm going to show you guys how I eat it. And yeah, I'm just going to sit and talk to you guys about my life growing up multicultural in White Town, Minnesota. So I fixed my camera a little bit to give you guys kind of an idea of how to eat lychee. Take this little stem here, you pick that off, there we go, and you can tell when all the skin is off when you see this really beautiful, like, white gelatinous, like, grape kind of thing. It's so juicy. I just love it. So the skin is not edible. Do not eat the skin, whatever you do. So it's got a giant seed, as you can see. Oh yeah, as you can tell, it's really squishy and juicy. But don't eat the pit. I learned this, that this is slightly poisonous, which kind of concerns me. And so I got a separate bowl for the skin and the pit. Here is the lychee fruit, ready to eat. Oh my god, this is so good. I love lychee. Okay, so for my story time, a quick history lesson. I was born in Minnesota, and I lived my whole life in Minnesota up until 2 years ago when I moved here to LA. And growing up in Minnesota was both the greatest thing in the world and also the most challenging thing, at least for me. You see, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and the school, my elementary school, was brand spanking new. Because my family and I were the first people to move into that neighborhood. And my parents did have, the house was built specifically for them. It was the second house. Dude, I'm filming. It was the second house my parents had built. Or, you know, like, they didn't build it themselves, but it was the second house my parents actually, you know, had customized and built just for them. So, naturally, I went to the elementary school. I went to elementary school that was down the street from my house. And yeah, it was a good school. It was a really, really good school. But that was kind of when I realized that I was different than the other kids, because all the other kids were white. And if I remember correctly, I don't think I saw another brown-skinned kid in the grade up until like 4th or 5th grade. So as you can imagine, that was like, ew, you know? And I think Minnesota's great. I mean, in a lot of ways, but LA is just so much better as far as, like, cultural differences and people go and diversity and such. So yeah. So when I went to school, that was kind of when I noticed that I was different. Beforehand, I didn't think anything of it. You know, you look at skin as a kid, but you don't think, like, wait, why is her skin white and my skin is brown? You don't think those sort of things. So I really understood. I really had my first kind of taste of, like, racism, I would say, in one of my grades. I can't remember which one it was, but I had a teacher who would specifically not target me, but she often, like, left me out of different things. And she had favorites, like, really, she had favorites, like. And I remember, like, when I, like, raised my hand, if I had a question or if I knew the answer, she would purposely look over me and look at the other students. And she'd make, I don't remember exactly correctly, but I know she'd make, like, comments on, like, my hair and how I was different. Like, oh, this student is different than all of you guys. So that kind of sucked, but you know, part of growing up. So I lived in Minnesota almost my whole life, so I didn't really know any different. And even within like my own family, you know, there was a lot of issues with like colorism, even racism, just straight up racism in some aspects. When I was first born, you know, interesting enough, I was born with straight hair, and I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing for some black babies to be born with straight hair. And my hair didn't get curly until I was like a year or so old. So, fun fact about me, I was born with straight hair. So, my own family was very racist in a lot of ways, and it's just terrible. Like, some of them have this, like, I don't know like what you call it, but basically they were like, it's like, don't date dark skinned people because you're gonna ruin like the gene pool or whatever. And a lot of my family who have dark skin, they would always be very mean to those who had light skin, and it's just messed up, dude. Like, so messed up. And back to what I was trying to say. When I was born with straight hair, and so it doesn't feel right. I was born with straight hair, and my older cousin used to really enjoy babysitting me. I don't know why. I guess I was just a pleasant baby. And so she liked to babysit me, and my mom said when she first saw me, and this is so sad, it almost like makes me really sad, but my cousin saw me, and the first thing she said was, wow, this baby is gonna have an amazing life because she has light skin. So it's sad because I think my cousin she was probably like, what, 6 or 7 years old at the time. And it wasn't like that, it was that long ago. It was like, what, 90s. And it's sad to think that a child that young already knows that life is going to be hard because they have darker skin. It's just crazy. It really is. And I remember growing up in like school, I hated Black History Month, like with a passion. And I hated it because, first of all, now that I'm older, Black History Month, Black History. What? Black history is American history. You can't separate it like, oh, that was a different, no. I disagree with that whole thing. But I hated Black History Month because as a kid in elementary school, being the only brown-skinned kid, every time they'd play for us like movies about, oh, the black people, da-da-da, all the kids would always turn and look at me like as if I was there. Like, they'd all like, oh, look at Lexee. I'm like, why? I wasn't there. Why are you looking at me? You know? And then as I got older in middle school, I'm wondering if I should call you guys out because I hope you changed since then. I went to middle school, and I hated Black History Month, especially because they never showed us anything good that black people did except for like Martin Luther King. Every day we'd watch like graphic videos of like black people getting lynched, and like you know, bodies of black people getting sprayed by dogs, and people getting sprayed by horses and dogs, and we never ever learned anything positive that black people did. And I despise the school for doing that. I despise that for even being a thing. At least in middle school, I wasn't the only black kid. But to me, why? Black History Month is not a month to pity black people. It's a month to empower black people. And the fact that the school did that was terribly racist. And I feel like calling out the school. I really feel like calling them out right now. But I'm not going to come classier than that. But, oh my god, it's awful. It was awful. It really was. And like, I learned more about good things Black people did within the past like 5 years than I ever had in my whole year of being in school. Which is pathetic, you know. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Belle with Gugu Mbatha-Raw. It's a good movie based on a true story about Black aristocrat named Dido Elizabeth Bell. And seeing that movie made me realize that Black people can do anything. Because all my life I've been told, oh, Black people only play slaves. You know, in period pieces, you only play slave or like an Egyptian or like a African chief or something. You're never going to be like a aristocrat. And that movie made me realize there really was a Black aristocrat. I mean, she was biracial, but still. And there was a scene where Dido is looking in the mirror and she's upset because of her color. So she tries to like rub it off and it felt so crazy because I felt that way so many times before. You know? Like sometimes you wish you could just wipe off the color and everything will be honky-dory. So I would definitely recommend watching that movie if you haven't given it a watch yet. It's really good. I love Gugu. Gugu Mbatha-Raw. And something I'm also going to say. I can't remember what I was talking about. I got the juice on my leg. These are messy. Maybe I shouldn't be eating these in my room. I was really aware, but I come from a very multicultural and multi-ethnic background. You know, I've got like different people of all colors of the rainbow in my family. You got Puerto Rican, you got Dominican, you got family from Jamaica, family from like the deep south, family from everywhere, Japan. But yeah, so I come from a very ethnic, you know, culturally. Oh my gosh, it's so juicy. Should have brought. Okay, I'm back. Got some napkins. Okay, I'm almost out of my lychee, so I'm just gonna make this last story really quick. I don't know. You could make of it what you will. I don't know. Maybe I would consider myself Afro-Latina. Anyway, my point is, I have family. I have Puerto Rican family who are very sweet, and I think growing up as a kid, I was also very ashamed of my Spanish-speaking family. I was ashamed of like coming from a multiracial background because I always felt like I was too white for the Black kids. You know, like I was recently on a set. Sorry, that wasn't pretty. I was recently on a set with a all Black cast and a Black crew, and we were filming, and the cameraman and the assistant producer or director, I don't know what she was, she would keep making like remarks about how like white I was, knowing that I come from a multi cultural background. And you know, she called me like white girl, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an issue with it like I did when I was a kid. And at the same time, it's like, well, if I am white, you know, like, is that supposed to be an insult? You know, like, why is being white an insult? I don't get it. So, yeah, but they would always make jokes on my color. You can't tell here because, you know, my lighting sucks, but if you put a paper bag next to me, I'm actually lighter than the paper bag. Or like if you put like a brown napkin, like a earth colored napkin, I'm lighter than the napkin. Just to give you an idea, I'm like, just, I don't know, I'm probably like, color wise, in the sun, like if I'm out in the sun, I'm like Rihanna color. But normally I think I'm like a little darker than like Zendaya maybe. Obviously you can't tell here because my lighting is crappy. So I'm on my last lychee. Yeah, I mean I don't have really many more stories to tell. Oh, but I mean, so back to the set I was on. Yeah, they kept making jokes on my color. Like there's some times where I would get overexposed and they would say, oh my gosh, haha, Lexee is so white, she's like clear. And it's like, you know, it's kind of frustrating because I know for a fact if they were to go into a dark room and I said, oh yes, it's so dark I can't even see you, they'd be pissed off. And I think colorism is just stupid. I mean, I get why it's a thing, but I don't get why it's still a thing, you know? I get why it existed, but I don't understand why it's still an issue, you know? But one thing I'll give the protesters and everything, it warms my heart to see Black people of all colors, of all backgrounds, coming together, you know? Because like 10 years ago, even sometimes now, but 10 years ago, people would have told me, I don't count, I don't get it because oh, you're not fully Black and you know, you don't understand the struggle. It's like, come on, guys. I think I understand the struggle more than most because I get it from both sides. All sides, rather. So I made tortillas for the first time, like the other day. That was cool. My mom was like, you should have told me how to. You should ask me how to make tortillas. I'm like, I don't know how to make tortillas. She thinks she knows how to cook, but she can't. But she's like, yeah. So I told her. She's like, oh, you should ask me how to make. Shut up, doggy. Should ask me how to make tortillas. So I made them myself. They were good, but you know, I think there's an art to it. I gotta catch on to the art to it. Okay, I am out of lychees. Here's all the skin and the pits. That was a lovely little snack. It's cool to be in California, you know, where you can get stuff like this, because I've never seen like whole lychees in the store before. So to get these at the market was excellent, and they were so juicy. Oh my gosh, they're dripping all over. LA's been having curfews because of the riots and everything. Stay safe. I'm not going to tell you guys how to protest or what to do and what not to do. You know what to do and what not to do. You know what's good for your own self. So if you want to help out, please support your Black businesses. And just, you know, reach out to your friends, make sure everyone's okay, everyone's doing great. So I'm done with my lychee feast, and yeah, this was kind of a fun video. I've never done a mukbang before, and I'm glad I got to do it with lychee, because I don't see people eat lychee often, if at all. So if you don't mind me doing these mukbang things, I'll see if I can find some other exotic fruit or veggies to try, since I'm in LA now and I can, you know, readily get stuff like this. So yeah, take care of yourself. Sorry, it's just so good. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.